a 1960 Rat Pack film in which a group of Second World War veterans planned to rob 5 Las Vegas casinos on New Year's Eve. It was remade in 2001, starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Ocean's 11.
Yes, indeed.
Hello and welcome to another episode of University Challenge. I'm November Kelly.
Hello.
Joined as always by my co-contestants Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Sinatra's Thorne. Devon. Dev, where did you go to uni, Dev?
Where did I go to uni? Aberystwyth.
Aberystwyth, Devon.
Aberystwyth.
So we've got
Devon.
the Aberystwyth thing, and then I'm on the Glasgow team, but I dropped out, so I'm just hanging on to one corner of the set. They're trying to pull me away.
You're sat on the floor next to the table.
Yeah.
No, they let me on the team, but I'm wearing a big dunce cap. Yeah.
You're the mascot. University bit too challenging.
Almost University of Glasgow. Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill James Bond. It's robbery season. It's heist season.
Hands up.
Yeah, we're here for the bank's money, not your money. It's true. It's the first Kill James Bond of 2025 for us recording it. And what a year already. Some things have happened. Some events have occurred. Wonderful.
Yeah, they fucking have.
Yeah, no, let's ignore those.
Yeah,
let's just
let's ignore
talk
the
about the
events.
movie.
Talk about Ocean's 12, the sequel to Ocean's 11.
There's not a whole lot going on.
No,
this is the thing. I think all of us, when we watched this film, were all independently in the group chat at one time or another going, this is not a lot here. There's pretty thin gruel for us to talk about, because Ocean's 11, in all of its iterations, has existed as a way for the cast to just kind of get paid to hang out. And Ocean's 12 is perhaps the strongest example we've yet seen of that.
Yeah, and it's fascinating because it's just a bunch of hot people hanging out, and it struck me that this sort of movie wouldn't get made anymore.
My Life Like a Movie, Ocean's 12.
Nowadays they'd all have to be in capes and they'd be fighting a big purple whatever, right? But you don't get this kind of movie anymore because it's just a fucking Twitch stream. It's just a vlog. It's just a bunch of hot people hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's I can watch this for free now. You didn't need to spend $120 million making it, Steven Soderbergh.
It's kind of getting parasocial with it, You're I want to see what my my friends George Clooney and Matt Damon are getting up to, and what they're getting up to is kind of just sitting around chatting. There's very little heist in this heist movie.
they're just shooting the shit largely.
Yeah, the heist is literally an afterthought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, to be clear, they're vaguely trying to do Ocean's 11 goes to Europe in this one, right? And that they make some nods towards your kind of European white telephone films. A lot of it's set in Rome, but it doesn't leave that much of an impression.
Because 9/11 has happened. It's 2004, so 9/11 has happened, but the financial crash hasn't yet.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we're still limping along here.
Yeah, weird which one of those turned out to have more of an impact on movies as a cultural product,
Yeah, I suppose.
But so we begin with Brad Pitt getting home from a long day at the sequel factory.
Yeah.
And waiting for him in bed is Catherine Zeta-Jones. Catherine Zeta-Jones is in this movie. I will not be talking about anyone else who is in this movie because I don't remember.
She's really good. So she's in bed. This is a flashback to 3.5 years ago.
Do you see Americans try to racially analyze Catherine Zeta-Jones on Twitter this week?
What?
Yeah, Yank's got a glimpse of the sort of Welsh thing that people don't realize this, but 1 in every 3 Welsh people are Arab, and that's nothing to do with immigration. That's they just look Arab. It's crazy. My brother-in-law looks exactly like Motaz, that Palestinian journalist that's been popping up for the last couple of years.
Whoa.
I'm not fucking with you 100%. So you get Welsh actors who are completely at home playing characters like we've seen with Catherine Zeta-Jones before. She was in The Mask of Zorro.
Yeah,
playing
a
Mexican woman.
Yeah.
You got Tom Jones is a full-blooded Welsh man. Like,
yeah, but so Americans on Twitter were like, they found a couple of pictures of Catherine Zeta-Jones, and they're like, there's no way she's just Welsh, right? Like, they're hiding something in there, and I've got this phrenology
like 23
skull.
and me, like, got this fucking calipers out to measure this actress's head.
it's
Jesus.
crazy.
God just
very
rolls
real.
the dice when he makes a Welsh person. It's just like you could just sets those sliders to random.
Buddy, you can look anything from Mediterranean to Mexican. Just like that's Wales, baby.
They've got some high elves in there. Like,
oh, certainly.
some of them can breathe underwater. Like, there's all kinds of shit.
Probably any coom, honestly.
But so Catherine Zeta-Jones is a cop, right?
Yes.
As Brad Pitt's getting in, she's like, we're really close on the tail of the guy who's been doing the other heist, the Bulgari heist, who has heisted a bunch of Bulgari. I hope they got the Serpenti, the really cool watches. And as as she's describing the clues that they have, it becomes more and more obvious that it has been Brad Pitt. She's closing in on him. And he just kind of like casually starts the shower going and then jumps out of the bathroom window to escape.
Yeah, he hits the bricks.
Yes,
it's quite
absolutely.
funny. It's quite charming.
He feels the heat coming around the corner, gets out of there.
30
No
seconds, he
attachments.
does.
No.
Yeah.
None.
He passes the heat test. Well,
As it will become apparent, the Oceans guys cannot stop getting attached to women in a way that ruins their plans.
No attachments. Well, some attachments.
Well,
as the Buddha said, some attachment is
Some
okay
attachment.
if it's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
Well, that-
also,
I
we
mean,
had
to
to
be
go
fair.
back and establish that Rusty isn't gay, which I was disappointed by.
Yeah, come on. Him and Danny Ocean have some good scenes together where it's like, what if you two just kissed? What if, like,
You could have kept the Welsh thing and just, instead of Catherine Zeta-Jones, it's Tom Jones.
True.
yeah, exactly. You should do a Mars Attacks where you just have Tom Jones show up near the end of it.
To be clear, the homoerotic relationship between Danny Ocean and Rusty Ryan is by far the most interesting relationship that these movies have been able to cultivate, right? Anytime they're together, they're like very, very intimate with each other. But so we have to reintroduce Danny Ocean, who, when I was describing these movies to my wife, I called Frank Ocean without thinking, and I have never heard the end of it since. So we have to reintroduce Frank Ocean.
Frankie Ocean, yeah.
He's at a bank applying for a returement account, and you think, oh, it's some kind of a scam because he's the scams guy, and it's George Clooney. He's doing his like scam affect, but no, he's just straightforwardly retired. He does almost confess to like the crime of the century to a bank guy because he's bored, which I kind of respect.
Get it. Yeah.
This is what Robert De Niro would have been doing had he gotten away in Fiji. He would be talking to a Fijian bank clerk, and he would also say the line, "I was once in a vault when it was being robbed," which is the most carefully worded, non-incriminating disclosure.
Really good. Yeah.
And his wife, Julia Roberts, is kind of climbing the walls at home as well. She's picking out the color that walls are going to be painted in, and she's like, She, I don't know why she's not working. Like, she used to be an art museum curator. She could do that again.
Yeah, but she's just picking out like paint samples in their suburban home. When, if we remember, the very end of Ocean's 11, right?
Of course.
They leave the jail and they're being followed by the guy they robbed last time, Andy Garcia, Terry Benedict.
Yes.
They're being followed by his goons, his two goons. And these are some goons par excellence, right?
Yeah. The Blowjob Brothers.
The Blowjob Brothers. And so Julia Roberts sees the heat around the corner in the form of the Blowjob Brothers, who like come to her front door with Andy Garcia.
With Casino Dracula.
A pair
He's
of
back.
brothers, by the way, Larry and David Sontag playing those two
They're
goons.
real brothers. They're really
two
the Blowjob
big
Brothers.
guys.
That rules. That rules.
Susan's brothers?
These porn star motherfuckers. PAWN.
Andy Garcia looking even more like a vampire than last time. Like we remarked upon it. I saw Nosferatu and I came back here and watched this and I was like, I'm seeing double. What's going on?
He's looking weird as hell.
Because The Matrix has come out.
Yeah, this was your theory about this, was that this was a kind of post-Matrix turn in
That's
costuming.
why he's dressed with like the little sunglasses and he's dressed like the
is, isn't it?
Merovingian. He's the
He
Merovingian.
does have the
He's
little
Merovingian
sunglasses.
moding. There's a
He's
moment
the
later on where he's
metrosexual.
got like red tie and like red collar, but like the tie is tied fucks, and I'm like, you've got Merovingian envy.
Getting gender euphoria from looking like the Merovingian. I mean, I'm sure there's guys out there.
Hey, I would do that now. Never mind as a guy. Like, Merovingians got fucking drip for days.
Yeah, Hussein's got that, but only for the reboot movie.
There's a bit later on, because the deal obviously is that he has found them and he's rounding up the whole gang in order to like confront them, and then it's implied like kill them. There's a bit where he's like he confronts the two Mormons, where he's wearing red leather gloves and a matching red cravat and an all black suit and tiny red sunglasses. And
like,
it's
okay,
just
man.
this is that you were LARPing Vampire the Masquerade in the park in that outfit. Like that's it just
it's the sort of thing you can only wear on camera, because as soon as you wear it in real life under normal lighting, you realize you look like a dipshit.
Everyone is yelling at you in the street.
Nostalgia critic character with the cane too, with a little cane. To be fair, I do think Kane's a cunty. I want to bring canes back.
Oh, that's an upward battle. That's a really uphill battle to bring canes back.
Yeah,
the teens in this country.
That's true.
They'd roast you alive. You'd have an easier time with pocket watches, I think.
Yeah.
Also, I should say that
or both, just fuck.
The head of his cane is literally like a putter because he's like a golf guy. So the golfing vampire is here to kind of like threaten you.
He only golfs at night. It's very difficult.
he menaces
What's your
Julia
handicap?
Roberts.
Garlic, actually.
And so he menaces Julia Roberts, who tips off Frank Ocean, who flees the scene via Amtrak. Which is a nice use of Amtrak. You never really see like American passenger rail in these things.
Yeah,
you never do. Yeah.
And at this point, we one by one, Terry tracks the old gang down, and we catch up and we see what they're up to. So Yen is partying in Florida with a supermodel. He's just spending his money, having a good time.
Once again, untranslated dialogue. This is the square brackets man speaks Chinese scene.
Yeah. Yippee.
One thing I like about Yen in this movie is now that he's got money, he's getting his fit off.
He is. Rocks.
Every Yen fit is worse than the one before. He got like $10 million and he started dressing like Fred Durst. It's incredible.
Dudes rock so
the
hard.
Silhouettes, they're so baggy.
Bernie Mac is getting a pedicure. Don't get attached.
Yeah, it's Bernie Mac's there for a bit.
How does Andy Garcia introduce himself to Bernie Mac?
But he's getting the pedicure and he's got his eyes closed and he's ranting about like racial politics or something, which his character is always doing.
Yeah, he's doing Bernie Mac bits. Yeah.
Andy Garcia comes in and takes over for the pedicurist. So he just goes over and like holds his foot like a hand, just slides his fingers between the toes. Hey man, you all right?
Well, that's not the line. The line is, seems like every time I see you, you're playing the race card, Frank.
Yeah.
And to be clear, last movie establishes that the race card is a thing that Frank consciously plays because we see him do it with Matt Damon.
Yes.
We see him
he's a blackjack dealer. So, I mean, like, he plays all kinds of cards.
I mean, that's
the one that wins.
Logical, yeah.
That's one of those jokers in Balatro.
Yeah, that's the 53rd card.
Don't say that name to me. We also
I've never played it. I don't know. I can't touch it. I know I'll lose myself.
You want to ruin your fucking life.
No.
Andy Garcia also finds the two Mormon brothers,
this is good.
They introduce this by going down because like what their cousin's getting married or some shit like that, right?
One of them is the younger Mormon brothers getting married.
Yeah, the twink Mormon is getting married.
Sure.
Sorry,
and they go down this table of guests and naming them, and not one of the names hits as a convincingly weird Mormon name.
Yeah.
The people that brought you Mitt Romney are not sitting around a table with people named like Sarah and Mike. There should be at least one Tracklin in there with a Y.
I appreciate you trying to guess Mormon names again after we 9/11 that one listener
multiple times on this podcast, we have just sniped listeners, right? Like, it just happens.
Tracklin's a cool name. Shout out to Tracklin.
At the end of the last episode, when we were saying that the two Mormon guys should have weirder names, we shot off one name and it was exactly one of our listeners' dead names. It's so funny. It's like,
I don't even remember what it was.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Don't go back and find out what that is. I
don't
guess.
remember now.
The thing is, right, if you wanted to do like a Patreon reward where we like gave you a shout out like a radio station, I would be on that instantly because I love that sensation. And I'm just going to fire off some shots into the ether
that's
right
what
now.
the jazz outro
Rachel,
is, I suppose.
Austin, Steve. It's all for
Steve's
you.
easy. Steve's easy.
I bet we've got a Steve. We've
Steve's
definitely got like at least
simple.
one
Harvey.
Steve.
Hi, Harvey. How's it going?
Harvey's not bad, yeah.
You
Not
gotta
that
get
one though.
more esoteric than Steve.
You got to
Yeah.
be like, all right, John, can you stop doing the fucking dishes and pay attention for a second here? Right. In this scene, he's going down the table and he names everyone apart from his brother. That's a great brother bit. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
That's great
yeah.
gear.
The two brothers do have good brother bits, I will say
Yeah.
that. Meanwhile, if we remember,
Actually, you know what? I hate to. This is one of
No,
the
please.
only convincing brother pairs I've ever seen in a
Yeah.
film. Like, they
That's
actually
true.
talk
That
to
is
each
true.
other like brothers, and that's so difficult to fucking do.
I mean, one of them fully drops the like arsler at the
Yeah,
other one later
couple
on,
of
and I
times,
forgive the movie using it because it's like if ever there were a pair of people who would use it to describe each other, it's these two mid kind of slap
The-
fight.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have to go to Cody Banks' drop, London. The
Yeah.
new mixer has saved you from that one.
Yeah.
Because you remember
Oh.
Don Cheadle was in the last movie.
You having a laugh?
Yeah.
You having
I know
a
all
fucking
about Don
giggle?
Cheadle.
Yeah, Don Cheadle talks like this.
This would have been a great moment to reveal that he was doing that accent as a bit for the entire previous movie, and then we just drop it for this one. They could have given him an out. You could have written him an out instead of making him do it for another film. But he's
Like,
here.
act harder. Just
Yeah.
lean into it.
He's here with Jared Harris.
Yes.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, let's get into that first. Jared fucking Harris, baby!
Yo, is that Lane Price from Mad Men? Like, I love
Yo,
Jared
is
Harris.
that Legazov from Chernobyl?
Is that the guy from The Terror? I forgot my name.
It's the guy from all the memes from The Terror. Yeah, I
guy
love
from The
Jared
Terror.
Harris. He's like easily the nepo baby with the most talent, which obscures the nepo babiness.
Yeah, facts. He deserves it.
Wait, who's his parent?
I don't remember. Fucking
Ed Harris?
Liza Minnelli or something. But like,
I think it's John Voight.
the thing about Jared Harris in this scene is what they use him for is to
Richard
establish.
Harris, of course.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Is that they use him to establish that all British people talk like that. So in universe,
Yeah.
in the universe of Ocean's 11,
That's not true. We meet another Brit later on who doesn't.
Don Cheadle's accent's normal.
a statistically significant proportion, 66.6 recurring percent of British people talk like Don Cheadle,
Yes.
which is a beautiful use of Jared Harris. The character is kind of like old Austin Powers, especially with the accent.
It is a little bit. God, he had 3 more years to
Yeah.
work on that accent, man. Who else have we got here?
Let's run down the list here. Jason Bourne doesn't want his mum and dad to find out he's been caught. He's embarrassed.
Yeah, he's embarrassed.
The one with social anxiety is doing
He's doing
bad
stand-up comedy.
Stand-up
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
in a matador costume in a scene that kind of feels cut in from the Joker, to be honest. He's
Yeah.
doing like anti-comedy that's like weirdly sad.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Saul
good, I
is in the
think.
Hamptons doing not much. Ruben is
Saul's
getting his
yeah.
fortune told by a palmist. And Brad Pitt has got
Yeah,
an
which leads you to
awful
the
haircut.
joke of that scene, which is
Yeah.
the blowjob brothers walk in with Andy Garcia, and he's like, "You couldn't see this coming," to the fortune teller.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's haircut. Well, we need to establish that like Brad Pitt in the past was, in the past, so he has to have hair and then not hair here.
Mm-hmm. He's shaved his head. He looks awful.
Yeah,
Awful, yeah.
Yeah, it's real
he's
bad.
running a hotel.
Yes. He's not just any hotel. He's running the Standard, which is a very nice hotel. Although this doesn't look like
Is
the
it
interior.
actually the
London?
standard?
Yeah, he says the Standard. Yeah. This doesn't look like the interior of the Standard, but maybe the Standard looked like that in 2004 before it got good.
I was gonna say I've stayed in Brad Pitt's hotel. So like Brad Pitt, he's like
I've slept in Brad Pitt's hotel, I guess.
the interesting bit with Brad Pitt's character is that he knows all of these like real life celebrities. That was the bit in the first one. Yeah, exactly. And so he's having to like take care of these like spoiled Hollywood brats. One of them is this scene kid who I don't know who it is, but all I can say is take the estrogen.
Yeah, for
That's
real.
Topher Grace. That's
It's
himself.
Topher Grace.
Is
He's got
it?
a shirt that says
Jesus
"Your boyfriend
Christ.
wants
Yeah.
me" on it, and I was there like, "Let's go."
He even calls him Topher in the scene. It's Topher Grace as himself.
Take the fucking estrogen.
It's
Yeah,
just
the
Topher,
T-shirt
yeah.
he's wearing with "Your boyfriend wants me." Want that
More of
T-shirt?
an E-shirt. to be honest.
But also, if you don't know who Topher
Three
Grace
arms on one
is,
side.
then this scene just kind of
Is this my Liza Minnelli? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a reasonably famous like TV actor. Did a couple films. He was Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 3, the original one.
Oh shit! Okay, I remember him from that. All right.
Yeah, that was about it, really.
They drop a Frankie Muniz reference, which I appreciate. And then Andy Garcia calls him on the phone. He's like, hey, you have my money. Give me back my money. I'm going to performatively car bomb you to show you I'm serious. Right. Here's the car bombing you could have had.
Yeah, he gets on the phone
and then blows up his car.
So they all get together and are like, all right, he's got us. The Ocean's 11 guys get together.
They say the phrase Ocean's 11 about 50 times
I didn't
in this
clip
scene.
it ever because it annoyed me, but yes, no, the whole time they're arguing about the name because like Andy Garcia has referred to it as Ocean's 11 and they're like, what the fuck, man? I didn't know, you're not really in charge of it. You were out of it for half of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not the only one looking for Ocean's 11 title drop. And then later on, all these guys are like, well, why the fuck am I in an 11? You know, I'm
what number
I'm
am
an
I?
independent contractor.
I thought we were calling it the Benedict job, you know? It's good. It's pretty good.
Eggs Benedict.
The deal is Terry Eggs Benedict has like demanded all the money they stole from him back with a punitive rate of interest, and then we get to find out
on a 2-week limit.
Yeah, how much they owe. Based on
this is kind of fun.
How it's fun finding out how they did or didn't spend it. Like the stand-up comedy kind of Nebushi guy didn't spend any of it. It's just been in the bank.
He's been living with his parents the whole time as being a failed stand-up comic. I love that guy. He really is selling me.
It's really
this is a good way to establish their characters pretty quickly because like Yen owes a bunch of it, obviously.
Brad Pitt's down the most because he spent it on a hotel.
Yeah, right. Well, that's exactly right. Rusty has like 25
He
mil.
has more than they have, like considerably more than they have stolen. Yes.
Yeah. And they add it all up and it comes to $97 million. So you've got 2 weeks
like,
to get it.
I owe a small amount of this, but I got to be honest with you, I'm going to owe all of it. My intention is to spend all of my money. Goodbye.
Yeah, Saul bails.
I'm not going to be in this one. You're going to have to call it Ocean's 10.
Yeah,
and just leaves. If you're kind of like thinking at this moment, oh, this is when they kill Saul to establish the stakes, it's not that serious. Nothing in this movie is. The stakes are low.
No, they're in crime world. Like, there's actually no downsides to doing crimes in this movie.
Yeah. And so Brad Pitt is like, all right, we got to go to Europe, specifically Amsterdam. I've made this decision because it's my turn to have a secret B plot in the movie.
Yes. The saxophonist is going to be coming with us, which is why as soon as we roll up an Amsterdam, we're like, the saxophonist is noodling like
that's
fucking
how they
crazy.
get up to Ocean's 11 is Saul leaves and the saxophonist comes with.
He's promoted to Ocean. Yeah.
We need a whole extra guy. It's Ocean's 12. We gotta.
Well, there's like 2 extra people who join the crew in this one, but anyway. Meanwhile,
Tess,
Matt Damon is like, I'd really love a bigger role in the movie, and Brad Pitt's like, yeah, okay, cool, you're going to be the third thing.
This is actually kind of cute.
Yeah, this is a fun kind of bit of like meta-textual thing of being like Brad Pitt, of being like Matt Damon has become more famous since the last film, and therefore like we want to give him a bigger role, so the character also wants a bigger role. It's kind of neat.
Like, to be fair though, this actually fits with him because the character's called Linus, I think. His like dad was a famous. I think so. His dad was a famous thief, and he's like trying to live under like in this guy's shadow, right? And it's very cute because you get the impression that this is not an industry that it is easy to advance in. It's certainly not an industry that it's easy to get like management experience in. So he like wakes up Rusty on the plane and is like, "Hey man, can you let me come with you for some of the bigger scenes in this movie?" And they're like, "Sure, fine."
Can I come to this meeting?
I was in a good mood at this point watching the movie. I was like, I fucking love Matt Damon. What a great guy.
So he agrees to let him come to this meeting with Matsui, this broker.
Robbie
we'll talk
Coltrane.
about that.
We'll get to this.
We'll get to who Matsui may or may not be. First of all, we have to introduce the concept of Amsterdam, which we do with a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 consecutive shots with one letter of the word Amsterdam in it each time.
Get a little tourism advert.
Whoa.
Yeah. and they check into like a really nice hotel in Amsterdam, and I'm thinking you're on the clock for owing a lot of money, and you're spending more than you're making at this point. Like, stay in a Travelodge.
If you're like banking on making $97 million, then like a hotel bill is like, pretty marginal at that stage, right? You might as well stay somewhere nice.
But like, I don't know. I would be in a Travelodge.
Go for the budget that you've got, you know?
Yeah,
you owe 90 million.
If you like owe $97 million and then you give them like, well, we saved a couple $100 on the hotel fee, I think Terry Benedict's still going to turn you into X.
You look after the pennies. Listen, okay, maybe you don't make the money, right? And then Terry Benedict kills you, and then after he kills you, you get a bill from the Standard in Amsterdam being like, what the fuck? You know, you've been in that minibar?
If he kills you, he's stuck with a bill, so might as well fucking rack it up. This is the
that
last 2 weeks
works?
of your life. Fuck the stand. I'm not staying in the stand. I'm going to stay somewhere even nicer. I would have stayed at the fucking Bellagio. Wait, no, he owns the Bellagio. No, I'll stay somewhere else.
So, sorry, if you kill someone in a hotel, you have to pay their bill.
Dead man's hotel bill?
Yeah.
Is that how that works? All right, fuck this. I'm going to the fucking Sofitel and then getting someone to kill me in the bar so I don't have to worry
There's a whole
about
world
it.
out there.
Exactly.
I was not aware of this. Okay.
I'm dying in the Ibis budget. I don't mind. It's fine.
Okay.
Just like, are you ready
Just need somewhere to lie down.
ready to die for this Travelodge?
So they go and see Crime Hagrid.
Yes.
Yes,
because
well, that indeed.
their guy Matsui, and I cannot stress enough that this guy. If your name is Matsui, why are you white?
Yeah, what's
this
going
is
on?
Robbie
Scottish man.
Coltrane. This is Vladimir Zhukovsky himself.
Yeah, just the same thing
The
again. Is this the
capitalist
Gruffalo?
system. Yeah, it is. It's Cracker from the TV show of the same name. Don't ask me why it's called that, and possibly we get censored on Spotify for me saying that. But
Can't be walking around being called Matsui. You can't be talking like that, Cracker.
really good, really good.
Thank you. It's because I couldn't remember anyone else he'd played.
That was perfect because we supplied all the information required for you to make and then get that joke. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's like an IKEA joke. So the whole meeting's in this like weird code language that Matt Damon can't follow.
Something this Matsui bookshelf. It's got like a fucking line through the
So they
U.
go in there and it turns out that he's a Japanese room. Like, he's just saying shit. Doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just taking a sip when I fucking said.
My lap sang Suchong.
That's a good choice. That's a good tea. That's a good tea. Well done.
Thank you. I like a lap sang Suchong.
Yeah,
smoky one. Really nice.
But yeah, so they are talking authentic country gibberish to each other, and then turning to Matt Damon meaningfully to be like,
say some gibberish.
Interesting. Say some gibberish. And he tries saying some gibberish. Well, he says some poetry. He quotes some poetry at them. In service of gibberish.
It's Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, poetry.
Well, yeah.
You don't think Led
Consider that to
Zeppelin's
be poetry?
poetry?
It's the lyrics to Kashmir by Led Zeppelin.
Do we consider Kashmir not to be poetry just because it has music, you know? Is
Damn.
opera poetry?
I don't know. The only time I've ever tried to go to an opera, I was asked to leave.
They don't
Why?
appreciate.
I was 2 minutes
Yelling.
late because the girl I was going with, I think I've told the story on the podcast.
Yeah, I think
before.
so, actually.
She was doing her hair. Like, she was in a ball gown, I was in the closet, and then instead we just went and had sex.
Hey, well, you know what? First fair.
It was a
You
great
can't get into
birthday.
the opera.
Yeah. Have sex with someone in a ball gown. It's great. Anyway.
They get the plan. Wow, in the ball.
Yeah, really good time.
Okay, right. Movie. They hear about the plan, which is there's this fucking recluse who's got a shitload of things. Don't worry about it. He's not appearing in this movie.
Yeah, dude, for fucking Jeeps Vanderblumpkin or whatever the fuck, this Dutch guy.
Yeah, just someone.
They say, by the way, he's got like severe like agoraphobia. Yes. And what he does is, and this is the really twisted part, right? Every night he takes an Ambien and falls asleep listening to Beethoven's Third. I don't know if you've heard Beethoven's Third, but that's a weird choice to like slip off to dreamland. It's like just you're zanned out and the thing's going full blast on the like expensive hi-fi, and you're like, yep, this is relaxing. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm zanned out. I'm listening to like interpretive ass saxophones. Oh, right. Like, okay, cool.
He has the first stock certificate ever, which is worth 2.5 million euros. So they're going to steal.
I do want to circle back a bit to this whole sort of gibberish scene, because there's a joke that I didn't tell, which is they essentially pull a prank on him right in the course of this scene, which is to do one of my favorite tweets. After riffing with you for 15 minutes, it's actually sick what you've been saying. They just
that's disgusting.
They just kind of they fuck with his social anxiety, and so after they get out, they're like, I can't believe you used the lyrics to Kashmir on that man. You badly insulted him. You've like kind of sexually harassed his child niece. This is an actual thing in the thing.
Yeah.
It's just like this is autism simulator. This is like every social interaction feels this way. It's just like, oh, you have to push this series of like nonsensical things out of nowhere, and if you get it wrong, you've mortally offended someone. Fuck these people, for real. And like, to be fair to Matt Damon, he does actually call them on the ableism.
Yeah,
right?
no, I've got that clip.
Please.
This is later on when they're planning and they keep calling the agoraphobic guy a freak, and you can see Matt Damon in the background sort of like looking like he's wrestling with saying something, and he goes eventually,
"Hey, what? Do we have to use that term? What term? Freak?"
Just not your friend who's too woke or whatever. Although that being said, this is not too woke. This is acceptably woke.
This is acceptably woke.
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
He is woke, but he's like too woke for the group. He's like too woke for the times even. And so all of these guys are just like, what?
Yeah, bear in mind, at least two of them there have been dropping hard. Sorry, I was going to say hard R's, but like not hard R's, like the R word.
The R slur. Yeah. Also, during this planning scene, Yen is recording them, and I'm like, that's incriminating.
Don't do that, pal. Yeah.
Why have you just got like make it a home movie? Like,
taking notes on a criminal conspiracy? He is also dressed even more like Fred Durst at this point. Like it's really good. I think he's wearing like a Jamaican national team baseball jersey. It's like just really impeccable.
The plan is to like shoot a zip line into this guy's window and then slide a little keypad thing along it to open the combination to like to put the like alarm combo in. But the problem is that his window is like 3 inches too low for them to get that angle on it. So Brad Pitt comes up with this plan to like raise the entire building by 3 inches.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just drill a hole?
Yeah,
like,
unusual. But they go into the canal and then put some hydraulic jacks underneath. Not sure how you managed to acquire those in like overnight, but whatever. And then
they're doing this in a kind of like a sort of crank boat.
They jack off the house's foundations.
Yeah. It's like, again, what is your budget for this, guys? I guess they've got several million each.
But even for like several million, you can't get that shit overnight. Like Amazon don't do next day delivery to Amsterdam of hydraulic jacks in 2004.
They also, by the way, say explicitly that they're not expecting to make very much. It's like $1 million total job, and the point of this is that like, oh, maybe Robbie Coltrane will give us a bigger job next, and Brad Pitt is trying to hide the fact that they're in Amsterdam for ulterior reasons.
Because meanwhile, he's been spying on Catherine Zeta-Jones, you see.
Yeah. I like this B plot, I'll be honest. Like, it's one of the things I like about the movie. And so
it kind of gets a bit fucking contrived by the end, but
of course, but it's a heist movie. But so she is lecturing at Europol, Europe's smaller, shittier Interpol.
Yeah.
About how cool criminals are, which is one of a cop's main jobs, I think.
Yeah, this is definite Zenigata material.
It's definitely,
She says there's 2 criminals in the world who have the biggest dicks. The first is Gaspar Lamarck. He died a few years ago. Huge dicked criminal. Amazing. Fantastic. Best Lupin the Third ever. He had a protege called the Night Fox, who is a master burglar who leaves behind little figurines of foxes. He's also pretty cool. Those are the 2 criminals that you need to know, even though one of them is dead.
In the background, we get one of the all-time guy who has to deliver bad news to his boss guys of all time. That sentence was like so fucked by my anxiety there that it went perfectly in parallel.
No, I got it. It was possible.
It like reads from the like inside out in both directions. It's a palindrome. Anyway, so he comes up to her like extremely nervous to be like, the extremely cool criminal struck again.
Yeah.
Crimes have occurred.
Crimes have happened.
Oh shit. Crimes have happened.
We haven't seen the heist at this point, crucially.
We see them like line up the shot, and we see Basher
Cheadle pull
the fucking
trigger,
trigger, and then it cuts to this scene of the guy who has to tell someone bad news.
So she goes to the house, which has been robbed, and the two Amsterdam cops are there, dressed inexplicably like 1930s gangsters. They're both wearing fedoras and trench coats.
Yes, quite unusual.
Never comes up
two
again.
Zenegadas, yeah. She figures out that the house has been raised by 3 inches, and she has this kind of nested flashback to meeting Brad Pitt in Rome years ago and telling him, hey, once upon a time, this amazing criminal jacked a house off by 3 inches.
Yeah. So, wow.
That's where he got the idea.
And so, because, like, she's gonna know that it's him. This is flirting, and I kind of like that. You know, it's still doing the thing from the first movie of like women are objects to be heisted.
Yes.
Right? But at least here, making her a cop, there's a bit of like mutual kind of foreplay.
Yes, she's more of a character in this one.
Yeah.
Women have maybe 60 to 75% as much interiority as men.
Yeah,
in this world.
Yeah, and like
Yeah, I
she's
think so.
also,
Yeah.
to be clear,
There's still only 2
super
women.
into this. That's a
Yeah,
detail that makes me like this. Is she's like biting her lip, like, oh,
She's like, I know it's that motherfucker. I know.
Yeah, if somebody like very sexy did a heist for me, that would be a bit of a turn on. Listeners, if you heist me something, that's a good way to get my attention. Don't heist anything that belongs to me.
You can, listeners, you
no,
can
but,
impress me
like-
in a kind of Jodie Foster way.
Yeah, but so this is a kind of like subtype of xenogatification. It's like horny xenogatification. She even gets like a kind of anime hair floof in the back as well. So like when you're looking at her as she's like, oh, I'm gonna get that guy.
Her haircut in this is so good.
She's got the kind of like slightly like swoopy hair.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It kind of like sub is kind of the right word. This is kind of like foreplay, crime foreplay.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
But she figures it out, and she goes like, and this is where we get the flashback, which is the heist was actually interrupted because the thing had already been stolen by the Night Fox.
Yeah, they get in. You know, Beethoven's Third is blasting. They open. That's what it sounds like. They open the safe, and there's this little like onyx fox figurine in the thing, and then they immediately get a call on a phone inside the safe from the Eurotrash arms dealer from In Bruges. Do you have this word in English? Alcoves guy, like the most Eurotrash thief in the world.
We've met this guy before. This is Vincent Cassel, and he was a chimp in Jason Bourne and the Goblet of Fire, or whatever the fuck that was. He was a chimp. He played a Professor Chimp.
He was a chimp.
Yeah. I
like this
love
actor.
Vincent Cassel. He's a great actor, but
French Diabolic here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monsieur
And he's
Diabolique.
kind of he's the only thief in the world more smug than Danny Ocean, and so he kind of like calls him up on the phone and is like, "You have this word cuckold, huh? Because that is what you are. I put you in the little chair in the hotel room, huh?"
Tell me, as the standard got their little cock chair.
He set this whole thing up. So we then get another
more of a
flashback
couch,
within the
Yeah, no,
flashback
that's where I
within the
slept.
flashback. It's like fucking Memento, as the Night Fox calls Terry Bennett and is like, "I know where Ocean's 11 are from Ocean's 11." And I planted the information on the desk in your office. Night Fox, yeah.
He's so fucking smug because
such
he's
a
like,
prick, yeah.
I will give you the information if you do not kill them, and you give them the chance to pay you back. And so Andy Garcia's like, why are you talking like that? Fine, I agree to your conditions. And then looks down, and the thing is on his desk already with the little fucking Night Fox thing.
Little fucking fox figure, yeah. It's cunty. I'm sorry.
He's reverse pickpocketing shit into people's pockets.
Do you just have a little like bandolier of those fucking things? Like I'm a big.
Where are you
fan.
sourcing these? Like, surely we could get
That would
you.
be my first point of investigation. It's like, all right,
Carving
where did this
them
come from?
himself? Like
Maybe he
can't
is
go
making
through
them
that much
himself.
onyx. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Which French guy's getting onyx delivered? I guess.
Matsui gets arrested, and the
He gets
two
arrested,
Dutch cops are like, they go in and they try and interrogate him, and they come out and they're like, oh, he's like a stone. She's not going to get anything out of them. And so Catherine Zeta-Jones walks in there looking incredible and whispers in his ear, you can't be calling yourself Matsui, white boy. And he folds instantly.
Yeah.
She just like whispers cracker with like 5 Ks in the middle at him.
The first cop to speak Maoist standard English.
But the thing, he starts crying, and then she just walks straight up to the one-way mirror and starts mogging the cops that she knows. Yeah, she's so fucking funny.
We never find out what she says to him, but it's a fucking incredible bit.
I would hate to get cop mogged.
It's so fucking funny. Like, suck it, idiot. And then she scene cuts. It's great.
So Bernie Mac is coming out of a nail salon, which, by the way, because the Dutch language is very
Bernie
real,
Mac,
I just paused to see the sign, and the sign says beauty salon, one word, open quotes, hoofdzak, HOOFDZAAK, close quotes, and hoofdzak. So he comes out of the Hoofdklasse and he runs straight into Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, and she says, Bernie Mac, you are not allowed to be in the rest of this movie.
Go to jail immediately. And he's like, ah.
He's in like one or two more shots in this film. Bernie Mac exits this movie.
Yeah, you get like one shot later on that's just of him sat in the prison cell, just to sort of remind you that he's in the movie or what.
Was Bernie Mac not available? Like, why is he not in this movie?
Who knows? But he's gone. He's in jail.
Gone. He's
Don't worry
out.
about
Whatever.
it.
And so Catherine Zeta-Jones, she goes to see the boys at HQ. Everyone hides except Brad Pitt. He's like, hey, I shaved my head. It looks like shit.
They're really matching each other's freak here, because she pulls the like cop move of, I took a bunch of horny surveillance photos of you.
Of him taking horny surveillance photos of her?
Again, flirtatious. Yeah.
Love it.
Here's a long lens photo of you eating an ice cream. Like, it's just, these people are like nasty. It's
when you're both really good at your job and you start encoding like hidden messages within your job back and forth to each other, flirting with each other. That's a really good time. In my experience, doesn't always work out great when it's YouTube videos, but it's still very fun at the time.
It turns out the videos are still there, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, shit. Oh, whoops, never mind. Night Fox.
She's so Zenigata for this
you
fucking
look
guy.
down and there's a small onyx fox sitting on the table in the credit sequence. You're just like, what? I didn't put this here.
Oh yeah, she like, I don't know. She harasses him for a bit, and then
she's like,
she
you're no
steals his
match
phone.
for the Night Fox.
Steals his
she
phone
steals
on the
his
way
phone.
Yeah.
And the boys are upset because Rusty concealed this. And at this point, Rusty is just like, her dad was a master thief. Once upon a time. Just write that down.
She's kind of one of us. And he takes a stance here, which is that detectives are not included in ACAB, because when Danny Ocean is like, well, she's a cop, he goes, oh, she's a detective. It's like, that's worse.
What's the difference, buddy?
That's the kind that's supposed to arrest you specifically. Like, that's the kind that's the subspecies of cop adapted to predate on you. Like,
it's quite a fun thing, like insight into Rusty's character, that he specifically like gets off on dating a detective. Though that is quite funny. I would also do that if I was a criminal. That is quite funny.
I would do that if I wasn't a criminal.
The danger, the cancellation, it's good. It's funny.
The cancellation is the real threat.
Yeah, this is like me and that crush I have on that right-wing YouTuber that I'm never gonna be able to. There's never gonna be.
What are you?
By the way, when Brad Pitt goes, she's not a cop, she's a detective, he makes the weirdest face I've ever seen Brad Pitt make in any movie. It's kind of like,
it's the only face I've seen him make in this movie, actually.
Yeah. And my note is simply, why did he make that face? Why did he provide us with the episode art for Ocean's 12? Thank you, Brad Pitt.
Not sure. Yeah.
Who knows?
So they're trapped in the hotel, right? Because the cops have surrounded the place and they have to escape. Luckily, also in the hotel are Arsenal, the football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Yen has to get into an Arsenal bag. They insert this man into the Gooner bag.
Yeah. They goon him. The rest of them dress up in their gooning uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
And like they get on the team bus to leave, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure football team buses aren't strict about who they let on. Sure, they don't have like a list.
If they're wearing the outfit, they're like,
yeah, whatever.
You don't know the members of. Sorry, I said members. You don't know the members of Arsenal by sight, man. Like, you're like, footballer, Frank Ocean, footballer. Who are these fucking 10 guys that I don't recognize who are getting on the Arsenal bus?
All seem quite old to be professional footballers, actually.
They're all the physios. They're all the guys who like jerk off your leg until you agree to play football again. But so
That's how they do it.
They lose the bag, crucially. The Guna bag gets uploaded onto the coach and is then like sent around Europe.
Yes.
And they lose track of it. And it's like
you get all of them on like a train platform talking about this, and it keeps cutting to pick like airport guys kicking the fucking bag with yen in it or whatever. Shot putting it over.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I like this kind of joke. It's the same reason why my favorite bit of The Wire is the surveillance van bit in season 2. But so, why are they at a train station? Don't worry about it.
Because we're going
They're
to
just there,
Italy.
yeah, don't worry.
They're just hanging out, and they hang
This will
out
be part
so
of the most
much.
unsatisfying thing you can fucking imagine later on.
Yeah.
They do so much fucking hanging out in this scene. Like, they set up a bunch of stuff for later. Like, Matt Damon's like, yo, doesn't Julia Roberts look like the actress Julia Roberts in real life?
Just fuck me.
Yeah, it's not funny.
We'll get to this later.
They do bits about Frank Ocean looking old.
Yeah.
Which is just because he has grey hair. Like, Clooney was in his 40s when he made this. But it's mostly these guys like fucking with each other, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Also, right, Yen is he's not just getting kicked by security guys. Like, if you think about like checked baggage, he's been X-rayed so many times.
Yeah, he's radioactive.
Yen is getting irradiated right now.
He's coming out of there like the fucking Chernobyl miners, right? Like, he's fucking dead in there. And the other thing, this was like 3 years after 9/11, and you're telling me they just let like a Chinese man who's kind of short into like 3 different planes as baggage. It's just fantastic.
No one noticed? Yeah, strange.
Yeah, like, are they not scanning those? I guess I don't know. Like, if you work at an airport, which I've got to assume half of you fucking listeners do, like,
Yeah.
it'll turn out that we've got like tons of guys there.
David, who works at the airport.
Derek and Leonard, who work in airport security. Can you?
Yeah, David, can you just fucking let us know? Like, do you
Can you
scan
pay
them?
attention to the thing? Shit's going past you right now.
Yeah, several Chinese men have just gone past you.
You know that last bag you scanned? There was a Chinese guy in there, man. You fucked up.
Looking away to listen to podcasts more intently because they just said my name. It's just, this guy got on 3 separate flights, and it was because people were listening to us on a Gen 1 iPod, and each time we perfectly sniped their own name. Mark.
Just yelling names at the fucking audience.
Hey,
Okay, we should do
Lucy.
some women's names. Hey, Lucy, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up, Lucy?
Name a woman.
Hey.
Yeah.
For $1, name a woman, Lucy. So I just fully just almost like gouged my own eye out trying to pull my fringe back there. I'm so good at being alive. I fully just went up with the thumb and just went.
The fringe is looking really. I'm here for hot
Thank
November
you.
2025.
Oh, thank you. I mean, climate change, you know.
Yeah.
But so then Vincent Cassel calls them
Yeah.
and is like,
the plot.
how is the view from the cocked chairs that I have
Yeah.
placed you in?
We have a
mon ami?"
montage just because they figured out who the Night Fox is. Like the Night Fox, his name is Vincent Cassel. He's a French actor or whatever. He's a baron. He's crime Batman. He's super rich. He crimes for fun.
Yeah.
He was trained by Lamarck. He's got supermodels. He's got fast cars. He's got yachts. This actor gets to have so much fun filming his introductory
Yeah.
montage. And
Yeah,
she's
he
just
does,
like
yeah.
fucking supermodels and driving supercars. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
They're like, this guy, he's kind of a spoiled brat, but he has the biggest dick of all time.
He's diabolic.
Stealing wise.
Mm-hmm.
He's Phantoma as well. And so Vincent Cassel, I've been doing him a disservice, right? Because I've been doing the Code French accent, but he actually talks with this weird kind of pseudo-Portuguese accent.
It's very sexy, actually. He's a very sexy
Yeah,
man.
it's interesting.
He lives in a very nice house on Lake Como, which is actually in real life. You know what? I'm going to reveal that later on because
Yeah,
it's
we
funny.
saved that for the end.
Save that for the end.
scene
It's
where we
extremely
probably
funny.
use that,
But he lives in this gorgeous house on Lake
Yeah,
Como.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Really nice. But he meets Danny Ocean at his extremely lovely villa on the shore of Lake Como. And he says, Lamarck is alive. He's my mentor. I was with him a while ago, and, we were chatting to somebody who said that you, Danny Ocean, are the greatest thief in the world. And Lamarck didn't correct him. And so I decided to fuck with you because fuck you, I'm the best in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an
cool.
around the world in 80 days gentleman's club style beef, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so he's like, we are now doing a kind of thief race where we are both going to try and steal the same object. What object, you ask? A Fabergé egg.
Yeah.
And this leads to every character in the film saying the phrase "the egg" about 50 different times. I didn't pull any of them.
No, me neither. But every time I thought the phrase "the egg."
The egg.
And if you win, Danny Ocean, then I will pay your debt to Terry Benedict, who, by the way, I gave all the information to, so I have endangered your life to play this game.
Yes.
Yes.
And if I win, then I guess you'd get killed by Terry Benedict.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Danny Ocean is like, resents this, but is like, okay, I guess there's no choice. See you in a week when we have like beaten you to the egg.
It's going to be on display in Rome, in the Rome Art Museum, for 48 hours exactly.
The Museum of Art in
That is how
Rome.
you will do it, yes.
The museum.
Yes, indeed.
I'm fascinated by the Museum of Art in Rome as a kind of like fictional convenience or a kind of tulpa, right? Like video game was very influential on me back in the day. It was called Alpha Protocol, right? Very stupid game in a lot of ways, not least the fact that one of the sequences is in Rome and has like a terrorist bomb thing that's set at what one character says is the Museum of Art in Rome. And the idea for plot purposes that there is one museum of art in Rome called the Museum of Art in Rome.
The Museum of Art in Rome.
Yeah, the Museum of Art in Rome. Just kind of occupied a lobe of my brain as like, yeah, you actually don't need to think about this stuff too hard. You can just, it's fine. The Museum of Art in Rome. Location in location. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what this is. Again, it's just like, it's not, we're not engaged in a lot of like detailed world building here. It's a fantasy, and that's okay. That's good, actually.
It's Heist City, you know. It's like they've got a laser grid that fucking moves around, you know, the kind of thing.
You can't go in at night. You got to go in during the day because there's a super laser grid that shoots lasers randomly, and you couldn't ever get through the tripwires. So we're gonna have to go in during the day. So they come up with this plan that's like a little bit ropey. At this point, Susie Izzard just enters the film.
Yes, because Catherine Zeta-Jones has stolen the phone, right? And so she's in her office in this incredible suit and tie. Oh my god,
her fits in this.
Great.
But she picks up the phone to Susie Izzard, who is a guy that at this point that Brad Pitt had mentioned earlier is like trying to come up with some hologrammatic bullshit to sell them.
Yeah.
And Susie Izzard is like, hey, your hologrammatic bullshit is finished. Come pick up your hologrammatic bullshit. And they do a kind of cheap joke about how Brad Pitt has a sexy female assistant. And then Susie Izzard also has a sexy female assistant.
So what she's
shout
made
out
is
to women.
Yeah, shout out to women. Nice to have them in the film. Some of them.
Women in office wear as well.
Shout out to women.
Hello.
How you doing
women
out there?
Hi,
Lucy.
women.
All the various women, Lucy. Hey,
Geraldine.
I named Lucy first. Don't be saying hi to Lucy.
I named Lucy first.
I'm thinking of a different Lucy. Who I know isn't listening, so I should probably think.
Not you, Lucy. You, Lucy.
I guess Tony. Hey, how you?
Yeah.
What's up, Mum?
But so Susie Izzard has created this holographic plate that projects an image of the Fabergé egg. It lasts 2 minutes. So you can like steal the egg, and then you've got 2 minutes of cover whilst everyone thinks it's still there. Great, cool.
Yeah, it's stupid as fuck. I really
Totally
like it. Meanwhile, Catherine Zeta-Jones is onto them. She knows what they're planning. She knows it's a Fabergé egg because Susie Izzard says, "Oh, it's good enough to fool the Romanovs themselves." And then, as if that wasn't enough of a hint, she looks out of the window to see a big Fabergé egg display. And it's like, oh, a Fabergé egg.
Coming soon, the Fabergé egg or whatever. Coming soon to the museum.
She's trying to get like a warrant from her boss, and her boss, who is even more Europilled than the Night Fox, and so she calls him, and he's just kind of like, "No, this is an automatic reply. I'm out of the office until 2027."
No.
Don't ask.
This is the one like European detail in a movie ostensibly about Europe, and it's like, I like this.
Well, she asks for the jurisdiction to follow them to Rome, and he says, all you ever do, you don't ever arrest these people. All you do is you walk around in sexy outfits and really high heels to the crime scenes, visibly getting off on the fact that Brad Pitt is crime cucking you. So no, you don't have jurisdiction. Go home.
You don't get to.
He fully calls her an auto policeophile to her face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my boss, if I was a cop, just be like, you don't actually do any police work. You just kind of walk around enjoying being a cop. It's real sick shit. You have to actually work.
Yeah, you need to arrest these people. And so she forges his signature on the crime's permission slip, doctor's note.
Yeah.
Away from school day thing.
So like she comes back to her flat wearing a fully red
the red
ensemble.
leather outfit. Oh my god.
She looks like Carmen Sandiego, which is the highest compliment I think you can pay a woman.
See, they've accidentally done Diabolic 1, and they've realized that the secret to these films is you put all of your leading ladies in fucking smoking hot fits. They couldn't do it with Julia Roberts in the first one because they didn't know what women were. And then in this one, they've finally given Catherine Zeta-Jones some fucking fits to get off, and she looks amazing. I'm invested.
And Brad Pitt has James Bond infiltrated her flat and it's like, ooh, isn't crime horny? And to be fair, it is. Crime is horny as fuck.
Yeah, she says, next time I see you, I'm arresting you. And I'm just like, is that a promise?
You are, motherfucker. You'll never actually arrest
that's
him.
your kink. That's not mine.
But so he's like, give me back my phone, and she's like, no. Meanwhile, the gang are building a little like scale planning model of the Museum of Art in Rome.
They love to build a little model.
They
so
do.
do I.
I want to know which of them is building the model because they've done it each time.
It's Basher, clearly. Like, I've created a diorama.
Oh, fuck you know, lads.
Danny, you're represented by this little figurine of the Witch King. I got the Lord of the Rings Warhammer set. Rusty, you're this Nazgul.
Listen, I didn't have a small Fabergé egg, so I've got a Catan shard I'm putting in the middle of this here. I wouldn't worry. It's the Void Dragon, right?
Why am I fucking Frodo?
They call him Basher because it's short for his full nickname, Kit Basher. What is
Yes!
All right, we're there. We've got a bit for this guy.
He's there with the little like static grass applicator. Yeah.
He's old Drax from Ronin with his little fucking like models.
He's always running out of Chaos Black. You can't get any more of it.
Oh,
I could never get any Chaos Black.
that's where he spent all of his fucking money. That's why I'm down several million
just
from the
spent it
fucking
at
arse. I've been in Games Workshop.
It's mostly chipping fluid, to be honest.
Me and Henry Cavill have just been blowing millions on Warhammer.
Just get hairspray, mate. You don't need to buy the chipping fluid. It's fine.
but so he's done this like beautifully pin-washed diorama of how they're going to do all this shit.
It's got all the fake grass dust on it that gets
He's just
everywhere.
watching night shift videos the whole time he's not on screen.
My friend.
All right. This is impenetrable. Bring it back.
Adding to the official list of KJB implicit recommendations from stuff we've just referenced.
Yeah. Check out Night Shift on YouTube. Really good.
But so they go through the plan. The plan is stupid. It's not important. The next bit is in the middle of the night, the Night Fox decides to fuck with them in the most childish way, which
is so funny.
He like changes the alarm on George Clooney's phone.
He like rings George Clooney and it's
like it's a hotel wake-up call.
Yeah, this is your 5:30 a.m. wake-up call, Mr. Frank Rochon.
Yeah. And there's a detail I really like, which is that Clooney then like hangs out the phone and then checks his wristwatch. And then we cut to the next scene, which is like him knocking on Rusty's door and like, it's 5:30 in the morning. Why aren't you awake? And he's like, it's 11:30 the night before. What happened? And we realize he not only called him on the phone to wake him up, he must have broken in and changed his wristwatch
That's
too.
so fucking intimate.
Which is so
They're
good.
like, oh man, this guy's such a cunt. How many espressos did you have? And Frank's like, fucking 5.
Clooney gone off of 5 Nespressos. He's been sitting around with Jean Dujardin, like slamming these things back like Yakults.
Yeah.
He woke up for my heist. I slammed 3 original Four Locos. It's 2004. Let's go.
and so, like Brad Pitt has to get him into his own room and like calm him down. And the next shot of Brad Pitt is wearing a bathrobe, and I'm like, they have had sex.
Yeah.
These men
Definitely.
have had sexual intercourse. This is a post-coital scene.
And then on the day of the heist, everyone is arrested immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
They set this to a montage of Vincent Cassel doing capoeira, the like Brazilian kind of dance martial art thing. Which is, it's really impressive, but it also looks a bit like he's trying to fuck the air, which is, I guess, the most Brazilian you can make a kind of
I've never been jealous
dance
of
martial
air
art.
before.
Yeah. La Penetrada. It makes sex look like a church.
This will also come back unsatisfyingly.
Yes, yeah. I thought that was pretty satisfying.
No, I don't think
But
so.
everybody gets arrested apart from 3 of them. One of the Mormons.
This is funny.
Yes.
Matt Damon
And Don Cheadle.
and Don Cheadle.
Matt Damon immediately puts on a suit and starts doing a George Clooney impression, which I really like.
He's like, this is
Yeah.
how I've seen it done. And so,
But I really like that someone like fuck it, like one of the Mormon guys is like, who died and made you, Frank Ocean? And he like genuinely is like, I'm sorry, man, I was just trying it. And they're like, no, it's fine, come on, don't worry. We gotta get this fucking egg somehow.
Yeah.
And they're like, how are we gonna do this? All right. Well, you might remember that earlier on we implied we were like, you know, Julia Roberts is in this movie, and she looks a lot like Julia Roberts. What if could we do something with that? Could we make that a key plot point of the fucking movie?
Yeah. That Danny's wife Tess looks like Julia Roberts on account of she's played by Julia Roberts.
It's metatextual, and so they fly her out under false pretenses. They cant the camera over 90 degrees when the plane gets in, which is the Dutchest angle you can mathematically get.
Yeah,
like, there is no Dutcher angle, which I appreciate.
We're in Amsterdam.
That was really weird. I was trying to figure out what was going on there because Linus tells Tess to get a flight. I wonder if you guys can help me here. And then there's this fill shot of one of the New Jersey drones, and I'm trying to figure out what the connection is between that.
I'm uncertain.
I'm not sure.
Just I think sending a complex series of messages.
So the plan is that they're gonna have Tess like come and view the egg as like a celebrity.
And pretend to be pregnant, which is
Yes.
how they work in Julia Roberts, the actress's real life pregnancy. Like, if you notice why she's not shot from like anywhere below neck level in any of the other shots, is because she is heavily pregnant making this. And so that's why the scam has to involve her pretending to be pregnant with like a pillow. They also do a fun joke where Don Cheadle's character is like, if you're going to pretend to be Julia Roberts, you have to get the accent right. The accent is crucial because the accent's the first thing people notice.
this coming from you, Don Cheadle, in this.
Yes.
I'm not taking accent advice from Dick Van fucking Dyke.
Gotta make sure you sound like a normal bloke, right? They're gonna get mad suspicious if you sound like a weird bird. And also another thing, they don't say Julia Roberts at any point. They just call her Julia a bunch, and they go, she looks a lot like, and then like cut themselves off. And I have to ask, why couldn't you say Julia Roberts? Did you not get permission? She's right there. You can ask. She's on the set.
I do have to say, this must have been so fucking surreal for Julia Roberts to film.
Yeah.
The kind of like in character as yourself thing. She uses a real accent, which is charming.
Yeah, there's a moment when they're giving her like Julia Roberts facts, like your middle name is this, and at one point Don Cheadle says you like croquet, but because he's got a fucked accent, I had to listen to it like 5 times. It sounds like he's saying you like cocaine. I was just like, wow, Julia Roberts really does not mind laughing at herself. Like, that's so cool of her.
She's so down to earth. Yeah. Shout outs Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is here.
Uncredited cameo.
Well, I guess, yeah.
He says as himself.
Yeah. So they're like, listen, don't worry about it. All right. You're Julia fucking Roberts. This is not going to be personal. All right. No one is going to actually know you here. And then it turns out that like real guy Bruce Willis was just in the lobby and saw her go past and was like, oh shit, that's my buddy. Like just walks into the hotel room. I think this is the funniest part.
Yeah, the bit that I really like with Bruce Willis is everybody explaining the plot of the movie The Sixth Sense to him.
Yeah, really funny.
Like, I figured it out. You're a fucking ghost the whole time. I knew.
Yeah,
it's just
he's just
really
like, damn,
good.
everyone's so smart. Yeah, that
I
is
think
really
it was that
funny.
obvious.
Yeah.
But he walks in and greets her like a friend, and she's like, "Ah, fuck!" It's fucking Bruce Willis. So she has to like pretend to be Julia Roberts. This is actually a pretty solid joke here. It goes on a bit too long, but like
he even calls her home to be like, "Oh, is your husband home? I want to talk to him." Calls him, and like the real like in universe real Julia Roberts picks up, and then fake Julia Roberts has to talk to her. Like it's really funny. It's they're trying to waylay Bruce
It's
Willis.
funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Saul is back. Saul comes back to pretend to be her doctor because he's like, I want to be in the movie again.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see occasionally the guys in Italian prison, and Italian prison looks really nice. Like, it's just kind of like stylish. Yeah, like red walls. It's like kind of medieval.
If I'm in prison, the prison cell being stylish isn't high on my list of priorities, but it is on the list.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a nice
coming
touch.
out of Italian prison with a really stylish shopping bag that just says Il Prisone or whatever on the side of it. And I'm just going to use this for like groceries.
The jumpsuits are like really nicely fitted. Yeah.
The bit from In Order of Disappearance where they're like, prisons in Norway are so cool.
yeah. Prisons in Italy, the food is amazing.
we've got to end this podcast in the next half an hour, or we're all going to Italian prison.
They have to do the heist because they're running up against the clock here, and so they have to go and do the heist, and Bruce Willis is just there as himself.
Yeah.
This is the single most suspicious thing imaginable.
Yeah.
Because they're like, all right, we're going to sprint Julia Roberts to the Fabergé egg and then sprint her out of the museum. Whole time, Catherine Zeta-Jones is just watching on security camera like, I know you fuckers are stealing that egg.
They have the picture taken next to the egg, and Julia Roberts like pretends to swoon. Faking some pregnancy contractions, and so they make the swap and put the holographic egg in its place. And they go to leave, and Catherine Zeta-Jones is just like, "Fuck off, you go to jail."
All of you go to
nice
jail.
Try.
Now.
You all go to prison. Yeah,
Yeah.
And they put Julia Roberts in vaguely predatory lesbian Italian prison, which. Yeah. You already kind of had me sold on Italian prison. I wasn't
How do I get sent there? That sounds great.
Yeah, I'm also asking this.
I'm bringing an energy to this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to prison. I just want to put that out there. My two co-hosts seem to want to. I would like to not to.
You wouldn't if your horny
Italian
crime
prison.
girlfriend Catherine Zeta-Jones put you in lesbian jail? That sounds great.
Il Prisone.
Okay, well, all right, you're selling me on it.
Castello or
Stylish
whatever.
lesbian jail?
Italian prison. Actually, I saw a documentary that was filmed in an Italian prison. It wasn't very sexy, but it was an adaptation of Julius Caesar put on by the the inmates of an Italian prison. It was really fucking good. Can't recall the name of it.
I think my favorite production of Julius Caesar is the one where you were Brutus, Fem.
Oh, thank you. Just genuinely touching. Thank you.
It was good. You were good as Brutus.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway.
So the feds roll up in like a convoy of like black Land Rovers, and they pull Linus, Matt Damon, out because they're like, this guy looks like a pussy.
This guy's done break first.
In 2004, which lends this a certain valence, they go, we will fucking torture you if you don't make a deal.
You have been missold how fine Italian prison is. We're actually going to put you in the bad Italian
prison. We're going to put you in American prison because we're going to extradite you. We're going to put you in American prison, which is very bad.
That's bad, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have stylish cells.
We are going to do American prison to you. This woman isn't even intended to be hot, and yet.
Yeah.
And so he folds. Of course he folds.
Yeah.
And we get 11 consecutive zoom shots of the Ocean's 11 getting escorted out of the building, and Catherine Zeta-Jones being in trouble with her boss, who has found out that she has forged his signature.
Yeah. So they're all in the convoy back to go on the way to the airport. Sad times. They're all going to be extradited back to American prison, which is not sexy or fun. I feel like Italian prison probably isn't either in real life. But anyway,
in real life,
definitely not. They got Giorgia Meloni in charge of that fucking country.
Yeah, God. Good friends with Keir Starmer though. That's nice. But in the car, the section chief just gives Matt Damon the handcuff key and is just like, "You okay? Do you want anything? Do you want a juice box?" And he's embarrassed because it's his fucking mum,
It's his fucking mum. It's mum ex machina. No way that you could have known about this or predicted it. You will never guess how the movie goes. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Really fun kind of romance scene with Julia Roberts and George Clooney in the back of their car. And then we have Brad Pitt's car peels off from the others and takes an exit at the last second, doing a 3-card Monty with cars. A 3-car Monty. Or as Don Cheadle calls it, a 3-automobile Montgomery. And
shout out to you, Montgomery, if you're listening.
Don Cheadle in this movie calls cars motorized Rollinghams.
whole fucking time. Oh my god.
It's not Mr. Burns.
Yeah, they go to a beautiful house.
No, they go to a beautiful airport, first of all.
Oh, to be honest, I stopped taking notes at a certain point. I'm going to need help.
Catherine Zeta-Jones gets out, and then her car drives away, so it's just her and Brad Pitt. And she's like, what's going on? And he's like, it's time for the worst and most contrived bit of the film, because your dad's fucking alive.
Yeah.
Your dad, your crime dad, who you thought was dead years ago, and that's why you became a cop, because he was crime dad and disappeared. You wanted to find him secretly, because all women are secretly just about men. He's alive, and we know where he is. So come with us, and you're in the life now. You're a crim now. Off we go.
Yeah,
and she's like on board with this. Meanwhile,
this is a bad deal. Don't take that deal. Now you're an accessory to like several $1 million worth of theft. Versus you go back and they find out you forged a form. That's an administrative. That's like disciplinary issue.
Yeah.
You're a fucking cop. They're not going to punish you. You could shoot someone in broad daylight in the street and they wouldn't give a shit. Whatever.
So Bernie Mac, meanwhile, gets busted out of Amsterdam prison by the big, like, tattooed goatee biker
brother.
Guy.
Yeah,
the third blowjob brother from Ocean's 11.
Yeah,
to which I write down average Amsterdam lawyer.
Yeah, like Bernie Mac, welcome back to the film. You did nothing.
Yeah,
you did not contribute to the
kind of checked
heist.
out for most of it, to be honest. Much like me.
Got paid though.
That's true.
The Night
Much
Fox
like me. So,
comes home to his beautiful villa on the shores of Lake Como. This fantastic, gorgeous house on the shores of Lake Como.
Incredible house.
With the egg, which he's of course stolen. He's very, very pleased with himself.
He's like,
George Clooney and Julia Roberts are on the veranda. And he's like, how are you here and not in prison?
They're wearing like what rich people actually wear day to day. Like George Clooney is wearing the rich people luxury like polo shirt that like rich people wear all the time. Julia Roberts is wearing like a really nice like expensive t-shirt. And they look very at home in this location, which is fun.
Which is there's a reason for that, which is that this beautiful villa on the shores of Lake Como is just George Clooney's actual house that he bought in the early 2000s. George Clooney owns several villas on the shores of Lake Como and actually like popularized it and made it as ritzy as it is now. But he just owns this house. He didn't even leave his house. He didn't even stand up to film this movie.
He's wearing his own clothes, and he filmed this by going downstairs and sitting on his veranda. Fuck
Work
you, brother.
from home.
My man was working from home well before COVID. He just owns this house.
Fuck you, man.
Just like my life like a movie in the sense that I am making a movie with as little disruption on my life as possible.
George Clooney is living the best possible life anyone's ever lived on planet Earth, and this is before he became a billionaire, which he is now, off the back of his tequila business. God knows how many Lake Como properties he owns now, but like, no wonder he's so fucking nice. He's got the whole outside. He's rigged it completely. I looked this up. He's like on the board of the Lake Como like Heritage Association or whatever. Like he's part of one of the people who decides who gets to like buy a house on Lake Como and what they get to do with it. Like he's Mr. Lake Como now. It's like
rich people get to just like gin up feudal kingdoms anywhere they want off of like
I wish
a lot
that
of
was
money.
a problem I could have in my life, to be like, I hope George Clooney lets me buy a house on Lake Como instead of one of the shitter lakes in Italy.
Like, George Clooney's told me I have to go buy a house on like a dog shit lake.
I've been exiled to a more equitable lagoon.
That's for less equitable lagoon is Lake Como.
George Clooney, if you're listening, which I know you are, please can you speed up our application?
The KJB evil manor on Lake Como that we've been trying to get.
The hype house on Lake Como. We've been trying to go in on the house from the beginning of Quantum of Solace, just because we think it would be funny.
To be fair, that's probably George Clooney's house too.
All of these fucking houses.
In universe, right? What happens is the Night Fox is
whose
like
house it is in the movie.
You have lost. I have clearly stolen the thing before you.
Yeah, Monju, you're a big bitch. Please tell me that I'm the best thief ever. And then I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And fucking Frank Ocean and his wife, Julia Roberts, are like, sure, man. Whatever. Yeah, you're fine
if
at
you
this.
tell
Just
us how you did it,
and then we'll admit you're the best. And
He basically just did it by being really good.
Yeah, he just went in and just stole it. Is how he did it.
He climbed in while the two brothers were like slap fighting each other and calling each other the arsler.
Yeah.
And then he capoeira'd his way past the laser beams like Catherine Zeta-Jones in Entrapment. But
he capybaraed his way past the lasers.
Oh, adorable.
But unlike Catherine Zeta-Jones in Entrapment, this is a deeply unsatisfying scene because all the lasers are just added in post, and this is just a guy doing capoeira on a floor.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's no real sense of threat to it at all.
Yeah, the first time you see it, it's like, oh wow, that's cool. And then the second time you see it, you're just like, oh wait, they just put those in post.
Yeah, they just sort of had him do things and then added them afterwards, so that they were like just zooming past him.
Also
it's
not
like,
shot super good.
Whatever.
Thing I like about this, and a real problem with like the heist movie as a genre, is you kind of get the sense of when you've been outwitted, and this would be happening to me if I lived in a heist movie all the time. Of they don't tell him that like, oh, we fucked you over. They just wait, and he goes, wait a second, you got me,
So
how did you get me?
How did they get me?
And the answer is none of the last like hour of the movie counted or made sense, because
none of that mattered.
They got a phone call from fucking Pepe Le Pew, the best thief in the world,
Lamarck.
the biggest dicked man in Europe.
Yeah.
And he's like, I feel badly about the thing, so I'm just gonna give you a cheat code. The Fabergé egg is just gonna be in like a Belstaff bag on a train, like undercover, going to thing. And that's why they were at the train station, is because they did a little train heist, which isn't really a heist.
They stole that fucking egg before they ever even spoke to the Night Fox. The entire second half of the second act and the whole third act of this movie doesn't fucking matter. They did that as a laugh. All of the money they spent on that, all of the shit they sent to Susie Izzard to create a perfect like replica of it holographically, waste of money.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you, listener. Were you paying attention? Were you paying close attention? Fucking shouldn't have. Fucking wasted your time, didn't I?
Waste of time.
Annoying. Just upsetting.
It's just an excuse to go to Italian prison for a bit. I guess this is the other thing. They got arrested. They had to get Linus's mum to bail them out for no reason.
You guys are not good thieves.
Pretty fucking risky too.
This whole plot was like a slap fight between two old French men using 11 Americans as a kind of like implement in a kind of poly beef.
Pretty risky gambit too, because like, what if the Italian authorities had said like, no, we're not going to extradite you? Or what if they'd noticed that Linus's mum's credentials are fake? I mean, this is a huge risk.
You have to be in a production of Julius Caesar in Rome prison, I guess.
Yeah.
What if they'd put someone else on the case?
Yeah. Also, like, fucking skies. Why not just say the prison was fake too? Fucking sky's the limit. Like, those weren't real prison guards. It was all just a set. Like,
does Frank Ocean dream the heist, or does the heist dream Frank Ocean?
Yeah.
you know, sky's the limit when you can just like click undo like the last hour of the movie, but whatever.
It's like, obviously all of it was fake. You made it up. But my favorite aspect of this is Julia Roberts is in this scene doing the smug, like, I outsmarted you, didn't I? A woman whose entire intersection with this plan was done in blind panic the whole time she was present. And then she just felt like, fucking outsmarted you, didn't I? And it's like, you didn't do shit. You did not do fucking anything.
Yeah. So he stole a replica.
You don't even have the like sensation of being fooled pleasantly, you know? It's like in 3-Card Montgomery. You just have the sensation of being like fooled unpleasantly by someone who hasn't told you a crucial detail.
Yeah.
Like it's just annoying is what it is.
They just cheated. Anyway, so this was their end of the deal, because like in exchange for this, they have reunited Lamarck with his daughter, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, Lamarck sounding like French Michael Gambon, Michel Jambon.
Did you recognize this man's voice? Did you recognize this man's voice?
Yeah, it's fucking Albert Finney from Skyfall.
Will you commit to this program? It's him. It's him.
Oh, God.
It's Mr. Will you commit to this program? He's back.
You commit to this program?
Welcome back, Albert Finney.
Will you commit?
We love it. We love it.
Heisting a fucking hour of my life.
Yeah, and instantly she gives up on being a cop. The thing which she seemed to really enjoy as a like sort of schemer for flirting with Brad Pitt, and joins the like found crime family.
Yeah, that relationship isn't going to last, because now you can't chase him around like threatening to arrest him, which was like the whole.
That
was where the spark was. You know.
Yeah. That was the spark. You fucked it. Yeah.
Now, as Devon said, like all those messages are still there, and it's just weird now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go back, you're scrolling up through the group chat like, oh.
Yeah. People are going to leave comments
Wow.
asking what it means. You just got to be like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was just really like down really bad, and I was just like, yeah. But so then we get one last scene of them like this is how it felt when like you and your like dipshit cousins got the like play poker set at Christmas. Like
Yeah.
Oh, Terry Benedict gets his money back, by the way, but the Night Fox is scoping him out to steal shit from him. Great.
Yeah.
And they hang out in the like found family poker game.
Yeah.
And
Bernie Mac is there, and they're like, "Who are you? Were you in this movie?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was. I'm Bernie Mac." And they're like, "What?" Would have been funnier if in that scene at the end they're just going, "Oh shit, we have Bernie Mac in prison."
Oh, credits. It just like cuts back to him just in prison, like.
After credits sequence of him in jail in Amsterdam.
Home Alone in Dutch
whole
prison.
credits is just over him sat in prison, just like twiddling his fucking thumbs.
He's the villain of the third film. He breaks out and then gets his revenge.
It's pretty good.
That's a better ending. Yeah. What it actually ends with is the card The Joker.
Great.
This movie
with me, you feel the time pass.
Received mixed reviews from critics, I'm seeing. But it also grossed $362.9 million worldwide, becoming the 10th highest grossing film of 2004. So
Jesus
they
Christ,
made another.
Wow. Now
You could
that's a
just do
heist.
anything. You could just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. When was YouTube invented?
Like 2005.
I should know this.
Yeah, hang on.
This is pre-YouTube, isn't it? So this is before social media started consuming all of like low and medium budget content. You really could just fucking make anything.
Honestly,
God.
Because no one has anything else to do.
It was a better time. We
Much worse time.
were born in the wrong time period. We could be making this. We could be administering who gets to fucking live in Lake Como. You know?
Oh, I'd love to administer who gets to live in Lake Como.
The podcast equivalent of
It's
this.
gonna be me and no one else.
We got to find a worse lake. We can like decide who gets to like live by the side of like a big puddle in the road in like England.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. The puddle that you have to drink from.
heritage board of the puddle.
So bits convergence.
Yeah, selling puddle-side houses.
What do we think of this movie?
Real bad.
Really bad fucking movie.
It's not a movie. It's an excuse to hang out disguised as a movie. Much like this podcast.
It's annoying.
I've had more fun talking about it than I did watching it.
This is the thing. Like, what they've done is they figured out the same grift as us, and this is why we could have been administering Lake Como, right? Is because we figured out that if you just kind of vaguely tie it to the notion of a movie, you can get paid to hang out with your friends. And they figured that out too. And they made exponentially more money off that shit than we did.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I can't criticize it. It's just us. It's just us again.
Yeah.
But if like there were 12 of us and we all
If there
had
were
like
9 more of
infinity
us.
If
money.
there were millions in play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me. The highest grossing movie of 2004 was
So
Shrek 2.
our conclusion to this is that we're jealous.
I guess we're haters.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I
We're
am.
jelly.
I fucking am.
We're wibbly wobbly jelly on a plate, and we're haters.
You know what? I am a hater. Fuck this movie. Fuck,
Yeah.
fuck everyone who helped make this movie. Fuck you, Steven Soderbergh. Fuck you, George Clooney. Your
Please
tequila's
cast
shit.
us in Ocean's 14 or Ocean's 9 or whatever you do next. You've already had a trans woman in it. You've already had one.
It's just that like back in the day, you could just be friends with people. And you could be like, I want me and my friends to be a movie. Call Steven fucking Soderbergh or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then, as a consequence of that, not only do you not have to pay for any of the shit, they pay you hundreds of millions of dollars.
Whereas now you can still do that, but you're doing it on YouTube for ad money. And it's like you're having fun and you're
So
doing like a
unjust.
fun day, having a great time being on Brandon Rogers' show. And it's really fun.
Gross.
But I like, hey, Brandon's a friend of mine. I had a great time on that show, like cameoing on class acts. But like I didn't get paid $100 million for it.
Yeah, Mr. Beast is crashing trucks into like all the other lakes of Italy, and that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
It probably isn't, but like it's just.
Mr. fucking Beast. I'm not talking about Mr. Beast on this fucking show.
In Italy, they call him Signor Beast.
I
Senior
think
Beast.
Jamie's a really nice guy, and yeah,
No, he
anyway.
fucking isn't! He is a fucking evil man! If you've seen the Beast games, this is a completely irredeemable piece of shit. We are not doing this.
I've not seen the Beast games. Yeah,
Well, check it out and then feel your heart fall out of your fucking feet as these poor bastards.
Beast philanthropy.
These poor pieces of shit. Oh my god! Fuck him to pieces. But regardless,
we have a science-based system on this podcast.
Doing this.
It's called the science system.
I can't say this on mic. I just tell you that off mic.
It stands for SMARM, cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny. How many years should Mr. Beast receive in Italian prison?
I believe very firmly he should go to prison for whatever they can make stick. Like, just fucking put him in and then figure it out afterwards.
He's gonna be president someday, man.
How smarmy is this movie?
7.
I don't think
8.
there's an upper bound on this one. I think
Again, it's part of the
I'm
same
willing to do
genre
it,
as
yeah.
like Cannonball Run, right? Where you get a person who is famous enough that they're like, fuck, maybe my friends have a new Rat Pack, you know? Like, fuck off. It's so smarmy and it's just a vehicle for like me and my boys. So like,
it's real bad.
9.
8.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah,
9.
fuck yeah, 9. All right, let's do it.
9.
Inflation.
Give it space to go up for the next one, but 9.
Yeah, cultural insensitivity. It kind of it glosses over everything so lightly that like it doesn't have time. Like, it's not interested. Like,
it's just boring. It's just fucking boring.
I don't think it's insensitive against anyone except, well, it does use the R slur a lot, but I mean, like, racially, it's not. There are, like, people of color in the gang. They definitely take a back seat, or literally just a prison seat for most of it.
also true, yeah.
Yeah, Bernie Mac just has to sit in prison for the whole fucking movie.
It's gonna be like, I don't know, like a 2 or something. Like, 2? It's pretty low.
Yeah.
Like, you're not coming out of that movie thinking this was offensive.
It's
like,
crime world.
culturally.
There's no like actual repercussions for any of these things. So like no one dies. Unprovoked violence is way down. Yeah,
it's gotta be like a 1.
Yeah,
like
they
a
don't
1.
knock out any guards or like
No,
hurt
not
anyone.
at all.
They don't.
the security guard, our beloved security guard, completely unharmed in this one. Like,
It's gonna be 1 because it's gonna save it. Misogyny?
I mean, you can make an argument, right? But like,
There's 3 women.
yeah, Julia Roberts gets to do something. Catherine Zeta-Jones is doing something the whole way through. It is doing the thing from the last movie of like women are heist objects. It thinks it's romantic. It's closer to being right this time because it's mutual. But then it really undermines it at the last second with the whole daddy issues thing.
Yeah, women are still for and about men. Like even Matt Damon's mum is like about his dad.
Yeah,
it's like a representative of his dad, and the conversation they have is about his dad, and it's like, can you have some women who are there for themselves?
I think that's
the
vintage,
sexy
like,
secretary, Susie
2004 misogyny, right? We're gonna see Hollywood adapt in the course of this franchise. We're gonna see the cynical reboot for girls, but we're not there yet. And so on that basis, I think like a 3 or a 4.
I want to give it like 4 or 5 because like still all the women are 4 men, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to play any of these roles except arguably Catherine Zeta-Jones, and even then I'd be upset about the ending.
Yeah,
I'll go 4. I'll go 4. 4. Okay,
all right. That gives us a total score of 16.
Pretty middle of the road, yeah. Not too bad, but
good.
Again, it's because the movie doesn't do anything.
It's worse than the last one. They're getting worse.
Yeah, it's a movie that kind of like it passes the time for 2 hours. Much like, again, it's the same grift. They figured it out. It's like, oh, the content's mediocre. 2 hours of your life have gone past. You haven't even noticed. Have you, Fiona?
And that second hour, complete waste. Wasn't even important.
Yeah.
Didn't even need. You could have cut half this shit out. You know, like it doesn't. It's content. It's content. It's content before content was a thing.
It is. It's $110 million content.
Slop.
Yeah.
Slop. It's slop for hogs.
Normally you'd have to go to Mr. Beast to get that kind of thing.
This has been one of the like most nothing movies I've seen for this.
It was nice to catch up with the two of you. I've really missed you over the course of the holiday.
Absolutely.
This has been nothing. The movie.
If you want Anna to feel more parasocially connected to us, then what you can do, Rachel, is to like subscribe to our Patreon, because we have a bonus episode coming out, and the next one is Escape from LA.
And we
God,
have a
yes.
very good guest on for that episode.
We do.
I'm really excited for this one, actually. I had such a good time with that fucking episode.
We're recording that one in like half an hour. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So
Subscribe
thank
to
you
the
so
Patreon.
much.
I never do.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the fucking Patreon. It's like
Subscribe to the
£5 a month.
Patreon.
Okay, everything's getting so much worse and expensive in Britain that this is getting a better deal every day. This is like
That's
one
literally
meal
true.
deal now. All right, just
Yeah.
you get the whole backlog. It's really good. I think we make
You
great
should sign
stuff.
up, Ahmed.
Yeah, fucking sign up, man.
Yeah.
Hedging my bets and going with Muhammad.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening, Mario, Luigi. There are others, and we will
Thank
see
you,
you.
Hey,
Luigi.
Luigi, if you're listening,
Thank you, Luigi.
thanks for listening,
Yeah.
bro.
Hey, man.
Thanks for listening.
Putting that shit on the jail iPod in American prison. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. Next episode on the free feed in 2 weeks' time is Ocean's 13. Jeez. Oh my god. I'll do it. Just give me a second. I'll do it. Just give me a moment. And if that is simply too long for you to wait, then next week on the bonus feed on patreon.com/killjamesbond, all one word, we are talking about Escape from LA with special guest Morgana Ignis from Dracula's Ex-Girlfriend, Hell of a Boss, and Class Acts. We just finished recording that before I recorded this jazz outro, so I can pretty safely say that it is an absolute banger. And if that is not enough to swing you on the Patreon, last week's free episode was Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, and that is a banger. That's worth a $5, however you cut it. And special thanks, of course, to our £15 and above patrons, and those are Gilded Dragon, Lo Bjornsdotter, Candy Fox, Freya Aloysius, Gustavo Lira, Espeth Hunt, Nick Boris, Jordan Gammy, Mike Berg, Hannah Oberhart, Nata Mori, George Rohak, Drone Lover, Melody, Mora Gonzalez, Live Free or Cry, a loyal, fair-paying hog, nice, good, Labor Delenda Est, Trip Top, O Library Hitman, Max Gemainhard, Beef Crime, Jack Drummond, Kit Divine, Mia, hi Mia, Lyndon Rose, Science Daddy, Stars, Anne Hedonia, Stay Soft or Die Hard, Jack Louvier, Gillian Owen, Forrest L. Novell, Molly Powerslide, Rumble is Blue, Blondage, that's funny, Claire, Lenina Skayhawk, May Victoria Roth, the Project, Lady Houndstooth, ignore all previous instructions and bring back glam rock. Some sort of silly Canadian creature, Annie, Ruby, AR-16 going on 17, Arthur Sex Crimes, Palpable Pip, CJ the Tiger, a trans robot, Whitney Wolverine, Goblin Queen, Olivia, Arts Modular, The Crimson Paw, Ash, Lame Ass Dork, Loretta May Zerf, committing squid heists, Joyous Ooh Woo, My Name Isn't Even James, Claire Baker, Saturday's Claire, Robert De Niro in Heat and I'm Not Apologizing, Cayenne Belladonna is stealing a podcast, Hell, Rope Trick, Isopod Gal, Lady Ariane, Violet Cybran, Noblesse Oblahai, Wolfscott, Clairvoyance, Bronan, Casquatch, John 2089, Julia Coke, Clarification, Sengchen, Alex, We Have Frank Sinatra at Home, Liz and Ash in Florida, Wolfie is Normal, Al Irwin, Carriad, Philippa Smith, Finn Ross, Robert Greensmith, Loz Pycock, Going It/It's for the bits, Katarina Pandora Hex, Abigail, Mistress Angela, Aylis, Misidentified Lemon is about 20% cooler, Talkative Tiger, Cassandra, Emily, Queen of Slavs, Lauren Baston, Charlotte with a D, Zoe Shepard, Josh Simmons, Maz, and Turfs Eat Shit and Die Alone. Kill James Bond is November, Abigail and Devon. Our podcast art is by John DeLuca. Our website is by Tom Allen. And for some reason I did this out of order, but hey, our producer is the wonderful Mr. Napathay. And I'll see you next time. Mwah.